Vettese. I am the editor of The Key, and I'm social media coordinator at XPN, meaning I do our Twitter and our Facebook for both XPN, The Key, and the Philly local show, and World Cafe. When they moved in here, it was a partnership I started with Comcast to throw, every Friday a free concert broadcast at noon that was kind of, open to the public, whoever wanted to sign up for it. And it's a mix of like touring bands as well as local bands, and sometimes people who aren't on tour but who are just like, yeah, I'll do a show for you. But I would say the goal was to just kind of like broaden our reach into the community, to kind of like do something for our listeners. So it's like something where our listeners could come and see a concert on a lunch hour on Fridays if they wanted to, or if they couldn't make it, they could just tune into it on the radio. And like a lot of times it's artists who are touring through and they're playing a sold out show, but then they play a show for us as well. So it's like it's just kind of like, do something for the listeners, for the XPN community, as well as like the larger music community in Philly. Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock to 11, Helen does the first hour and a half, so 8 to 9:30, and then I do 9:30 to 11. And it's all Philadelphia artists, a whole range of musical styles. And in the middle of it is the Key Studio session, which I produce those, and that's kind of a cool thing because we're able to bring in artists from the community into our studio and record, these exclusive session things for us. And in some cases, it's like, these are bands who are already pros, and it's like they're doing it as more of like a, we're going to play for the radio audience thing. In a lot of cases as well, it's also bands who are just starting out, so it's like a way for them to, basically record their music. There's been a few sessions this year where I've picked the bands based on having seen them live, and then brought them in, and then realized that they only really had a demo out. The Exponential Festival every year has a handful of local artists, like slots in the lineup that are reserved for local artists only. It's usually about like 6 or 8 slots in the 20 artist lineup. On the XPN webpage, there's a volunteer application you just filled out, check off what you're interested in doing, and Fred's part of our volunteers. Fred is our volunteer coordinator, and he kind of heads up the volunteer staff here. Fred Nattel is his name, and he'd get back to you and get you involved in doing events, whether it be working at the festival, working at our free and noon shows, coming here and answering phones for the fund drive. And I should say that's probably like another way that we involve the community in what we do is like through the volunteer end of it, because it's not just the musical community. It's just people who are musical enthusiasts. So like people come in. Our volunteer crew comes in, helps set up for the festival, hands out flyers and buttons and whatever swag we've got at the festival, and then they're able to like take part in this big 3-day thing that we throw every year. I love working on The Key because it gives us a chance to reach an even broader audience in the community than what we do, on the air. And, that's not to say that we don't reach a broad audience on the air. We'll play everything from like older Bob Dylan stuff to like new Fox News and stuff. So like there's a lot of range in XPN's general programming. The thing about The Key is it gives us the ability to take that and kind of go even further with it, just kind of reach new musical communities. And that's something that I feel like I've seen a lot of in the past 6 months to a year since I've been like, editor. I like working on it because it just allows us to take our already broad scope and push it even further.